Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm in a different setup today. It's all a bit stay there, microphone. Balanced. Good morning. Welcome to Friday again. This year's disappearing already. Today's subject. Let's see. As always, some of these things come to me just in a blinding flash of light. Probably not a blinding flash of light. It doesn't work quite that sparky. Some people ask me to talk about specific subjects. This week's subject came to me. As some of you know, I have started a new job. I am very excited to be publicist for Moonbooks Publishing. And one of the things I was looking at was what's missing. I was looking at the wonderful back catalogue of books that they have already, and I thought, is there anything missing? Books, authors, deities, subjects, all sorts of things. And that kind of led me to a bigger question. Is there anything missing from modern witchcraft? What do you think's missing from modern witchcraft, if anything? And then it led me on even further into what's missing from my own witchcraft. So those are the questions for today, in whatever context you wish to take it. What is missing from witchcraft in general, or from your own witchcraft pathway? There you go, question for today. Good evening, Sephora. Good afternoon, Fairy Queen. Good morning, Melanie Mania. It's cold. It's cold in England. Good morning, Luna. Good morning, husband from Sainsbury's Cafe. Yes, I have no coffee this morning. Husband sitting in a cafe having his cup of tea. I have no coffee. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony from a very cold Clennerley. Yeah, it is cold in England. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Angela from chilly, sort of snowy France. We were promised, is that the right word? Snow in Hampshire, my part of Hampshire. This week, but it didn't happen. We are right on the coast. We very rarely get snow, and if we do, it doesn't usually lay. I love snow. I think it looks beautiful. I don't really want it, to be honest, because it's dangerous and it causes all kinds of transport issues, and yeah. Good morning, Janet. Fairy Queen, interesting topic. It's one of those things, it's just a question. I'll throw it out there and see where we go with it. Good morning, David. Using coffee as a hand warmer. David has coffee. I don't. I could have made my own, of course. Good morning, Jackie. Yeah, a little bit. I got the jumpers out. It's a little bit nippy. And Eric's under his blankets. Good morning, Emma. Hope everyone's well. I'm not out of sync. I'm in a different computer, different camera. This computer actually struggles with running it all. So fingers crossed. I need new computers, but they're expensive. Yeah, I'm good. Our family has had colds. Pete started it. It's his fault. I had it, just coming to the end of it. Ben's got it now. So yeah, struggling a bit with the voice. I'll try not to cough and sneeze. Luna, how's Eric today? Eric is back to normal, thank you. Eric went to the vets on Wednesday. I'm trying to remember what day we are. He had to have one tooth out because it was broken, but when they got him on the operating table, there were 2 broken teeth, so he had 2 teeth extracted. But he's back to his normal total git self now, thank you. Xenia, no coffee. No, I know it's bad, isn't it? Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Emily. Jack Frost has definitely been dancing outside, yes. Janet has more snow on the way. Yeah, there's a lot of snow doing the rounds, isn't it? Yeah, Eric is actually asleep at the moment. He's not fussed by any of it. He hasn't had his medicine yet, but I didn't want to disturb him. His medicine is His medicine is given in a syringe. It's liquid in a syringe. We've had to come up with cunning plan because he would eat the syringe. Good morning, Humphrey. How are you? Yeah, poor old Eric. He is fine. Yeah, he hasn't moved. Hasn't moved at all. So there you go. What we got? Events coming up. Lots of stuff. Have a look at the Kitchen Witch event page and my website event page. A lot of stuff coming up this year, really. We're at events. We're doing talks. We're running workshops. We're at Raw Eden next weekend. We are doing in-person readings there as well. We do our online readings. We've done loads so far this year already. Thank you so much to everyone that's booked a reading with us. Yeah, lots going on. Got a nice big Kitchen Witch project going on behind the scenes. So yeah, lots of stuff. So keep an eye on our website events pages, and of course the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook page as well. Angela, iced up snow here now. It's not good. Jackie, found you on Blue Sky. I am on Blue Sky. I'm not really doing an awful lot over there because there's so many social media platforms and it's such a juggle to keep them all up. But I am over there if you want to find me. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Sue. Snowing in Sunderland. Xenia, snowing in northern Germany. Been raining here. It's been raining here, like about Sawain. It means when it gets colder, there's snow. Yeah, we've had a lot of rain too. It's wet and cold. Good morning, Maria. Janet, if I'm lucky, I'll get to collect some snow. Definitely collect some snow for snow magic. Yeah, brilliant. So today's theme then, what's missing from witchcraft? Humphrey, very cold here. Hope you're okay. Yeah, just getting over the end of a cold, but it's all good. All good. David, as someone who works with the Kalach, you'd think I'd handle winter better than I do. Yeah, Kalach is my goddess. I love winter. I love autumn and winter. Yeah, they are my seasons. Angela has some bottled snow water. Excellent. There's a blog floating about somewhere on working with snow magic, I think. Good morning, Trudy. Lots of lovely people here. Thank you so much for joining me. So yes, what's missing from witchcraft? Good morning, Steve. Just in general, in modern witchcraft, is there anything missing that you think should be there, or is there anything missing from your own witchcraft pathway? I think actually, when the question sort of popped into my head, there's a lot in my head at the moment. With the Moonbook stuff, with book contracts, there's my pile of stuff to start researching for the next book. That's just the beginnings of it. And the Kitchen Witch project we're working on and all the events we're doing. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in my head. I think it's worth taking some time to sit and meditate on the question, what's missing from my witchcraft? And see what you come up with. There may be some practices or some areas that you haven't looked into that would complement your pathway, that will complement your practice. It might take you in a different direction, who knows? But it might be that there's just something you can tweak or something you hadn't thought about. I asked myself very briefly, when I thought of the question, what's missing from my witchcraft? And actually the answer came quite straight away, really. And I knew it. We know these things, don't we? We just sometimes ignore them. Mine is a structure to my daily practice. I don't have a structure for my daily practice, and I'm missing that. Where everything has been so busy and so hectic and so chaotic, my daily practice has, I was going to say slipped, but it's actually disappeared, let's be honest. So that is what's missing from mine at the moment. I will take some time and go deeper to see if there are other things, bigger things that are missing. But that was my initial response, was the structure for a daily practice, which I miss, and I think it should be there. There is a book about daily practice, but it's in the pile. Good evening to Sephora over in lovely New Zealand. It was a beautiful, warm and sunny day. We moved 3 wheelbarrows of Louisa plums from tree and it's still laden some opulence. That sounds amazing. Good morning, Steve. Let's get some of these up. Actually, Xenia, yes, time for it is missing. That's one of the things, isn't it? And I think that's one of my big issues as well in modern witchcraft. Is having the time. Sometimes I think you have to set time aside. I've got a new, where is it? I've got a new Wizzy diary. Look, it's beautiful. Look how nice this is. It's a whole daily planner thing. I've written about 3 words in it. It's beautiful. But I've still got my good old, get these things out. See, I can tell I'm at my working desk. I've got my good old 1985 Filofax there. It's got far more stuff written in it than the no funky diary. It's time, isn't it? Time management. But you do have to take time out. You do have to slot time in your diary to do things, meditate, spell work, whatever it might be. But yeah, time is definitely missing from my practice as well. Time to do it. But I think a big part of that as well is melding it all together. I'm a witch all the time. I don't have to write "be a witch" in my diary. Maybe I do. Be a witch in my diary. It is about everything I do is a witch. You add a bit of magic into everything you do. But yes, Xenia, absolutely agree with you on that one. Emma, I think what's missing in my craft is myself. Interesting. Yes. Don't know if I've lost the will entirely, but it's been like it now for a couple of years. I've been making altars, but I feel missing. Maybe altars isn't the thing then. Altars is usually my go-to thing for making that reconnection. Maybe altars isn't the thing. This behind me is one of my altars. It's my main working altar. It's empty. I've left it. Well, I know it's got a bag and some books in it, but I cleared all the altar at Yule after Yule. Cleaned it all down, and it's just sitting there waiting at the minute because I'm not sure what I want to put back in it. January for me is that kind of, let's just wait and see. I've cleared it. We'll wait and see what's going to happen. Maybe altars isn't the thing. It's other things, isn't it? It's other daily practice things maybe to get you back into it. Connecting with nature, meditations, candle magic, visualizations, a few exercises, witchcraft homework. Maybe it isn't the altars is the right direction for you to go. If it's not working, try something else. Xenia means lottery fairy, accommodate me and I can do more. Yes, that's what's missing in my witchcraft is lots of money to be able to do what I want. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Maria, enthusiasm seems to be a miss. Yeah, that's a good one too, isn't it? And I absolutely understand that as well. There are times when we all get that blah kind of period. I love winter. I don't love January very much, but I love winter. And it is a very hibernation month. So I do tend to try and take a bit of time off for myself in January. I can feel my husband's eyes boring into the back of my head, even though he's not in here. It's been busy January. That's, you can't hibernate in January when you start a new job, can you? It just doesn't work that way. But yes, I do understand that, absolutely. But maybe it's just giving yourself a bit of time. Maybe spring is the time to jump back in with enthusiasm because that's when Mother Earth is doing her thing as well, isn't it? Steve, what's missing? I would say the same thing that's missing in so many spiritualities and creative pursuits also. Honesty. I think witchcraft's changed, hasn't it? Religions, spiritualities, they change. And I think witchcraft has changed too. Maybe not always for the better. We are very much media driven these days. A good thing in one way. When I first started pre-internet, it was really difficult to find anything to learn witchcraft from. It was difficult getting hold of books. There were no resources really that I could tap into. The internet now has opened up all of that. And you can tap into all different kinds of resources and get information on all different kinds of things and connect with people. So I think there have been good sides to changes within modern witchcraft, but perhaps we have lost that personal touch, that community maybe. Although I kind of think, well, the Kitchen Witch Coven is online. We have this, Witches Weekly is a community that we've built online. So I guess it depends on which perspective you look at. But yeah, I can see that. Maria, a boot up the bottom. Yes, we could all do with that from time to time, definitely. Good morning, Jalala. Good morning, Lee. I have a feeling time is going to be one of the big things, isn't it? Time to practice is missing from my craft at the moment. Missed last week's chat because poor Keith had a fall. Oh no, previous day we're in A&E well into the night. I hope he's doing all right. Life has changed very suddenly and I have been fast-tracked into the role of full-time carer. Can only manage food magic and laundry magic at the moment. Big heaps of positive energy for Keith. Yeah, you've got to do what you've got to do. But yes, if you're working food magic and laundry magic, then it's still magic. But yeah, life has a habit of chucking stuff like that at us, doesn't it? Monique, time is my issue. I know I need to set my time for me to do what I want to do. And I think this is important. And it is, if you can set aside, having been a working wife, mother of young children, they're not young anymore, but having been in that situation where you are juggling everything, that goes for all sorts of people, not just people with children. We've all got busy lives. You end up juggling all sorts of things. I think the key is to try and work a bit of magic into whatever you're doing. Laundry magic and food magic. Connect with the herbs and the food ingredients as you're making the dinner. Connect with the energy of the house as you are cleaning. Clear out negative energy as you're vacuuming, dusting. You can bring in little bits like that. But if you can slot in 5 or 10 minutes for yourself every day just to meditate or light a candle, be brilliant. It's not easy. It isn't easy. Yeah, time is the one. Do you know, when I thought about the question, time wasn't the first thing that popped up, but actually, yeah, it does. It figures into it a lot, doesn't it? Steve, I thought you had done. So, honesty and sincerity, yes. This needs a bit of contemplation before reacting, I think. Probably subject for a longer conversation. Yeah, it was just one of those questions that kind of popped up when I was looking at books and what's missing from the book catalogue. And it kind of went on from there into a deeper question. Yes, honesty and sincerity. There are a lot of folk out there following the witchcraft, pagan, druid path, spiritual path. Not everyone is in it for the right reasons, but that's a human being thing, isn't it, I guess? Everyone has to be responsible for their own actions, their own words, whatever spiritual pathway they follow or not, or just general human beings. You all have to be responsible for your words and actions. I try and be the best I can, but sometimes I fail because we're human beings. But yeah, honesty and sincerity are good things. Is it something that's changing with generations? I don't know. Big question. Big question. Xenia. like your new day planner. It's beautiful. It is beautiful and it feels lovely. It's just, I haven't written anything in it. Well, I did. I wrote 4 things. Make chicken pistachio curry. That was last week. Um, write some questions and answers for a podcast and post a birthday present. That's it. That was up to the 3rd of January and I haven't written anything else in it. It's very lovely. I'm not sure I am organised. I have to be organised, but not sure that's working. I'll try it again. Sephora, I think what is missing is a really good free witch calendar with daily practice reminders. I know there are commercial ones, but they're really expensive here, and I'm a frugal witch. Actually, it is something that we're looking at. I have got a contract with Moon Books to write a book about daily practices. It's not at the top of the list to write. I'm writing about Minerva next. Minerva is my next book that I'll be writing. But I have got a daily practice book that I started writing back in lockdown, that long ago, because I wanted to help myself as well. And it is something. But Ness and Heather and I are also looking at doing a daily practice not workshop, but a course of some sort that we can put out there. It's churning, but yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, we could all do with some prompts, couldn't we? Yeah. If Heather and Ness are watching, just make some notes. We're working on it, Sephora. Kerry Ganesha looking beautiful behind me. No, that side. Yep, he's a very random god that I work with. Working with the Kalach and then all of the English ones, Sulis, Balanos, and all of the English deities that I work with, randomly Ganesha is just there as well, right next to Balanos. He's been good to me over the years. Even the kids make offerings to him when they need stuff. Yeah, he's good dude. Good dude. Jackie, time and mindset, which is difficult personally, although many people may find the same issue here. It seems to be, yeah. I the time thing I hadn't really thought of, but yeah, we maybe it is breaking it down into bite-sized pieces. A daily prompt of feed the birds, connect with the energy, light a candle, just simple pull a card kind of stuff. To kind of build that up. I like structure. I don't like being told what to do, but I like structure. Even 30 plus years on, I still take courses and go to workshops and things to learn new things because I like the structure of that kind of learning. I like, this and this and learn this and that. Which is why the Kitchen Witch School is set up like that. So here's your stuff, go and do some things, come back, what did you learn, kind of thing. I like that structure of learning, and I like structure to daily practices too. I've always been quite, not envious, but I admire some of the religious practices that have those structures in place. I always thought that with the Hellenic path, the little that I know about it. There are so many feast days and ritual days and days to celebrate this and days to celebrate that. And today is that for that goddess and today is for that god, and that whole structure to it. I like the idea of. Whether I would stick to it or not is another question. Maybe it's something worth trying, a structure of daily practice. There's all sorts of stuff going on in my head now. Oh dear. Roll. Angela, my craft is missing time to practice. I'm genuinely surprised by this time thing, but not surprised, if that makes sense. I think when the question came to me, I didn't really have any idea where it was going to go. I shouldn't be surprised, really. Used to spend time daily with visualization and could head right at the drop of a hat. Now 5 minutes meditation is tricky. We do get out of practice with things, don't we? We do get out of practice. hedge riding is one of the things that I do, and I think as a hedge witch, if you do practice it regularly, you've always got that one foot in the other world. But if you do get out of practice with it, it can be difficult to come back to it. Yeah, totally. Maria, didn't even make a Yule altar. I just put a Yule goat on it that fell into my bag from a group. I love Yule goats. Do love Yule goats. Fabulous. Yeah, much as I love the festive season, favourite time of the year, I didn't put up as many decorations this year. I put up a couple of trees. We do have two trees, one in the kitchen, one in the living room. And I didn't get an awful lot further than that. Put a few bits on the mantelpiece. Yes, it was a lot quieter this year, but a Yule goat is better than no goat. Love goats. Luna, been so disconnected from my craft since I moved the first time. For some reason, just couldn't connect to my surroundings. Moved again and feel the connection coming back. Have just treated myself to a new altar. Went for a walk yesterday around trees. That was the best tonic I've had in a long time. I think for me, the important part of that is connection. If we don't have that connection, just the dog moaning. If we don't have that connection, then we are lost. It is having that connection to the land that we live on, nature that surrounds us, the house that we're in. It's having that connection to the energies that is the baseline for me, the most important thing. I'm glad your connection is coming back. David, oh, wise one. Mine practice is slightly changing. Doesn't it? It does that. Even as I say, 30 plus years on, I still wonder. It's becoming more physical. I mean, I've been adding exercise like yoga to it. Okay, that's not going to happen to me. That's the E word. Ooh. Weirdly, so I'm looking away from spells and more to lifestyle. I think that's all part of it, isn't it? And I think things like yoga are very spiritual, very, very spiritual. And I have done yoga before. I do like yoga. You do make that connection to the energies, and yoga is actually very meditative. So yeah, I go for it. Yeah, like it. It's got to work for you, hasn't it? And I think practices do change. My spiritual pathway hasn't gone straight line. It's gone like that. Yeah, well, very structured when I first started. Well, just from the odd books that I had. But when I first started proper training, that was all Wicca, very structured. Not anymore. It's, quite random. Pick up whatever you can find and work magic with it. So, yeah, it goes off in different directions. Absolutely. Emma, mine's empty too. Your altar empty. Thinking candle magic too, and yes, homework for Kitchen Witch. Candle magic is also always good. It is one of my favourite practices, but just that lighting a candle and just sitting there quietly, just watching the flame for a bit. It's that peace. It's that connection to the flame, to the energy of the fire. Just that moment in time. Nice. Steve is quoting Jesus. Okay, that's random. To roughly quote Jesus, turn a stone and you'll find me. Do we need all the paraphernalia? Yes, nice though it is. All we really need is pure intent, maybe. That's an interesting question too, or a statement. Yeah. When I first started, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I had a list, huge, great big list. But bear in mind, the books that I got hold of were quite American Wicca. So it was all very structured, and it was all, your altar has to be certain, and you need this, and you need that. And I had a whole list of stuff. And I bought all of this paraphernalia, athames and bells. Never used a bell in any of my practices or rituals, but I had one. Never really used an athame, if I'm honest. Wands and all sorts of stuff, pentacle tiles, and I had this whole list of stuff, candles in all colours and altar cloths for each season, and a whole ton of stuff. And I have had some beautiful stuff over the years. I've also had a lot of that stuff that I never used. Chalice. Very, very rarely used a chalice. Had several of those. Sometimes I've used it, sometimes it's worked. Sometimes doing a nice big ritual with all of the bells and whistles is really interesting to do. But these days, I don't know, do you go through this whole cycle that you need all the stuff? I think you need to try the stuff. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it won't. My cauldron, right from the beginning, I used my cauldron, and I still use my cauldron now because I like burning stuff. And the cauldron is a very safe place to burn stuff. There will, I think, be tools and paraphernalia that you feel very linked to. There will be bits that you'll use for some time and then you'll maybe not. But the girls and I have said this too. We go to things now, we go to events now and think, oh, that's beautiful, but I don't need it. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, but I don't need it. Do you perhaps go through that cycle and come back to the point where you just work with the energy that you've got within? I'm not saying not have nice things, because I have got lots of, nice things. But I think you change, and you do change over time, that you don't need all of that stuff. Is it perhaps that whole TikTok, Instagram witch thing where everything looks glossy and glamorous and we're drawn into that? I don't know. There's no right or wrong there. I mean, if absolutely no right or wrong. If you want all the paraphernalia and it works for you, brilliant. Yeah, I'm not judging. Not judging. Lee, how's New Rog? Oh, working for Moonbooks is. I mean, I've been an author with Moonbooks for 13 years, and working with Trevor and Matty is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I am loving it. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of lot of stuff to take on board, and I have to be a grown up. It's there's management meetings and stuff. It's very grown up, but I'm loving it. And they are a fabulous, fabulous team to work with. Yeah, very, very proud to be a Moonbooks author. Very, very proud now to be part of the team. So yes, it's all good. Lot of stuff going on. It's all good. Thank you. Jackie, out there in the world of witchcraft, in certain areas, maybe a sincerity, too much mass marketing of what our spiritual magical path is actually. It has changed. Yeah, I mean, I've been to shops in randomly picking a place, Glastonbury, because we all know Glastonbury, and it's full of fabulous shops. And there are some really, really brilliant shops there. Weird Raven, off the top of my head, brilliant place. Sons of Asgard. There's some fabulous shops there that do brilliantly honest stuff. There are one or two shops that you walk into and you think, this is tat. And it's not just Glastonbury. Last time we visited Burley as well, it was the same. You walk into a shop hoping to find lots of inspiring witchcraft stuff, and it is what I call seaside tat. Personal opinion again. Definitely personal opinion again. Some people may love it. I'm assuming people love it because they wouldn't sell it if people didn't buy it. But for me, it is, I'd rather have, a stick and a pebble than a, plastic witch figure. It's I don't know. It has to be your pathway, actually, doesn't it? But if some of this stuff does bring the young people into witchcraft, then maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm just old and cynical. Jane, since Treadwell's put most of their workshops and talks online, I felt a bit disconnected from the London witchy tribe. Not enough events to actually be at. No Witchfest at Croydon last November was a major disappointment. That was a financial thing, I think. Witchfest International is on this year. It's at Kempton Race Course this year, this November. I think a lot of this situation is financial. I think we've talked about this before. In lockdown, everything went online, obviously, because people, A, wanted to stay connected, and B, had to still make money. I think is very, very hard for the retail places at the moment. Every retail place is struggling. So putting stuff online is much, much easier. And they'll get more revenue from it. If you put an event on in your shop, there's only a certain amount of people that you'll get through the door because of the physical location. If you put an event online, it's worldwide, so you're going to make money. So I think from that point of view, it has to be a financial business decision to be able to stay in business. But I know what you mean. There are events starting up. There are more events opening up now, in-person ones. So fingers crossed we get the right balance of it. David, oddly the same here. Planning to make a Yule altar with ivy and holly, and it just ended up with Christmas cards on the hearth altar and just enjoying the break with family over. And I think that's the important part, is it? We had a fabulous Christmas here. The kids were all here. We went to family on Christmas Day. It was just very traditional, nice, relaxing, playing board games. And we discovered Among Us, video game. I'm a little bit obsessed with it. We're all there on our phones. I'll give you it's a brilliant game. It's free. Brilliant game. You get to dress up in funny hats and walk around spaceships and murder other people. And then everyone has to guess who the murderer is. It's a bit like Cluedo, but on your phone. A little bit obsessed with that. That was great fun. We discovered that our son is a Monopoly tycoon. We had, taking over the whole place. Yeah, Scrabble and all sorts of the old traditional stuff. It was fun. It was good. And I think that's the important part of, isn't it? Not decorations and knocking yourself out trying to make it fabulous when actually it's about the people. So that's all good. Janet, need to start clearing my space for my witchy room. My witchy room that's undergoing a slight change again. I'm downstairs at the moment, but my upstairs witchy room, yes, has to be prepared for the first grandbaby. Makes me feel old. We're going to need room for a travel cot or something. So not just yet. That won't be till June. But yeah, that's got to figure into it. And my witchy room is the obvious place to put it. So it'll be a kind of a witchy room creche. Changes. Life changes. All these things. Nothing ever stays the same, does it? It is all fluid. Absolutely. Jackie, I think there's also a difference in, say, what you and the Kitchen Witch Coven do and your great books. But honestly, there is a lot of tarot there, which could certainly go missing from Witchcraft. Yeah, there's a big thing at the minute as well about, and understandably so, with the AI books that are in place, computer bots writing books of all sorts, not just witchcraft books, and the authors that aren't really authors. The main one, Marie Silver, hundreds of books out. I mean, I know I write a lot of books, but hundreds of those books, and people buy them and read them as if they are gospel, for want of a better word, but it's a computer that's written them, that literally lifted stuff from all over the internet and made it into a book. So there's a big issue with that. So you're not going to get honesty and sincerity and anything decent from that. But also the misinformation. When I was writing the Sulis book, because there's not an awful lot of information about her, I went back to historic documents, Roman documents. I went to archaeological evidence to find the facts. But I thought, just out of interest, I'll do a Google and see what comes up for her. So I Googled Goddess Sulis. And there were several websites that had information, correspondences, and what she's supposed to look like and what her symbols are. What I noticed first was that every website There was only a handful of them, but every website had exactly the same information, like copied and pasted. So they obviously hadn't bothered to research it themselves. They just copied and pasted from website to website. And none of the symbols or the correspondences made sense. None of them had anything to do with Sulis and her history. So I'm assuming that at some point someone had made up their own correspondences, which is fine, personal gnosis and all that. But then someone else, all these other people just copied and pasted it. But there was no connection. There was no relevance. So I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, which is what the internet platform, it does give a base for everyone to share absolute rubbish on. I think we do need, and it's not just witchcraft, it's news and all sorts of things, isn't it? People see a headline and then just go off on the deep end on it without actually reading the article. I think journalists have a lot to answer for because there's so much misinformation written as well, supposedly news. I think we do have to perhaps delve deeper when we're looking into something. We do have to do our own research on things. Why is that? What's that about? Where did that come from? Perhaps we have got into the habit of just blindly believing stuff. Oh, it's on the internet, so it must be true. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big thing, isn't it? I think this question is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Xenia, as I can't repeat too often, I'm so grateful for online witchcraft community because in my country they are hidden and closed as it was back in the day. Very grateful for books too. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I wouldn't be without this online community. Absolutely not. I wouldn't be without books either. I love books. Angela, structure and routine. Yeah, been so long since I've connected with my witchcraft and myself. However, I have been making lots of my own natural products, as in laundry soap, dishwasher tabs, cleaner, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste powder, body care products. Made myself an anti-aging skin nourishing oil since this weekly started this morning. Nice. All of which I create with love, intention and magic. So maybe my practice... No, your practice hasn't stopped. It's just changed focus. Yes. Need to stop berating myself for not practicing in other ways. It's about looking at things from a different perspective as well, isn't it? I think. I don't journal, but I do this. I'm talking to you guys. That's my way of journaling. So yeah, it is about looking at things from a different perspective. And I would say all of that stuff that you're doing is, oh, hats off to you. I don't do any of that. I do buy natural products. We're just testing out actually natural refillable deodorants at the moment. Not that you needed to know that, but yeah, I do buy all the eco stuff because I don't have time to make anything myself. But yeah, what you're doing there is it's magic. It is absolute witchcraft, creating all of those wonderful things. We're very good at berating ourselves, aren't we? We are. Jalala, I work in a virtual world. That's my job. Yes, most of mine now is that as well. Thought I'd be clever and create a witchy game in-game, thinking that would help merge my craft into my work. One day maybe it'll be. So far I'm just coding. Wasn't the idea, but there you go. Maybe my sacrifice will give it to the people that play it. Oh, but that sounds like an interesting project. Yeah, go for it. Coding, that's clever stuff. Angela, though I've realised all the time I'd fallen off the broomstick, I'd been unconsciously putting magic into my day-to-day, stirring coffee a certain way or putting intent into mundane tasks. And I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Maria disconnected since 2020 on and off. And I think that we've all struggled, I think, particularly since the whole epidemic thing, because it was so bizarre and so we'd never been through it before. To bring things back in bite-sized pieces. You don't have to jump back in with the full-on pointy hat broomstick. That's it. I'm going to do everything, spells, get the cauldron out. Just bite-sized things to kind of work into your daily routine. Sephora, for me, it's not something missing. For me, it's something that's too much. It's all the electronic distractions and the FOMO effect. Yeah, I think there's a big thing of that, isn't there? We are bombarded daily, hourly, every minute with stuff. Uh, Notifications on the phone and notifications on the computer, and there's a lot of stuff thrown at us. Um, and no one wants to miss out. No one wants to feel they're left. Look at that! I must have that. And I am distracted very easily by shiny things. So yes, I absolutely understand that. Xenia, very often it's not you, but the wrong surroundings. Yeah, move to the right place of people, and boom, everything goes. Yeah, that's connection. We're back to connection again, aren't we? If you're not connected to your surroundings, you are going to feel off. Jane, something that can feel like it's missing is enthusiasm for the craft. Yeah. When we start out, we're full of the excitement of being a newbie, learning, reading, interaction with other witches. Time goes on, even magic can become mundane. It's hard to put the spark back in. I was thinking about that as well, and I thought there are all these books, my 31st one was published last month. But do you get to that point where, not that you know everything, because I am still learning new things all the time. I don't know, advanced witchcraft. Is there such a thing? I've actually found myself going back to folk magic rather than forward to anything advanced. Is it perhaps finding something new that you don't know about, or something that you haven't worked with before, that will spark that interest? For myself, and I know for Heather and Ness as well, Kitchen Witch, we've gone back to folk magic because that has sparked our interest again. We were out and about last year at one of the events, fabulous White Raven camp. We will be at both camps this year as well. Fantastic setting. And we were wandering in the, just went for a little walk, and in all the hedgerows, and there's all these plants, and some of them we knew, some of them we didn't know. And we're sort of chatting about them. Oh, that's a so-and-so. Oh, I think that's a so-and-so. And Nessa's got the handy plant finder thing on her phone. And we thought, perhaps we need to learn more about this. This is embarrassing. We are kitchen hedge witches and we don't know all of these plants. Perhaps we need to go on a course. And actually, we realised we didn't need to go on a course. We just needed to teach ourselves. So that's actually been part of our journey since then, is learning about all of the wild plants and what they do and the magical. But we're learning ourselves by getting out there and looking at stuff and then researching. And yeah, so I wandered off there. But yeah, maybe it is about finding something else that sparks the interest. Jackie, it's right what you say. There wasn't a lot out there, and some of us oldies view it through a different lens, maybe. Do any of us think anything is missing? Yeah, it is, isn't it? I do, for those that remember a time before the internet, does that put a different perspective on it? I was very lost before the internet. I thought I was the only pagan in my area. I was not. And I work on the computer every day, so that has become a big part. I'm sitting here now with 2 big computer screens. I have another computer upstairs that I usually do my podcasts and things on, that we are surrounded by them. Does it give you a different perspective if you've grown up without them? Don't know. I had a Commodore 64 when I was a teenager. I remember putting the game in the cassette and waiting for it to load. Lee, bought myself a Witch's Diary 2025, realised I haven't even looked at it yet. Oh, you're 10 days into 2025. Why, though? Is there a reason for that? Steve, keep running out of letters to use. Need to be better at condensing my ideas. It's all good. I am going to sneeze in a second. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Maria, gifted mine to a friend who's leaving the country. That was very nice of you. Xenia. So many witchy open groups and moots of lovely people in London. You could attend one every week. Xenia, maybe you and Jane need to exchange lists of events. Emma, printable witch calendars, Sephora. Maybe we can make one ourselves or hint to the kitchen witch ladies. Yeah, it is one of the ideas that we've had is a prompt for daily practice. We're working on it. We are working on it. Write a book about time management for witches that no one would have the time to read. Yeah, that sounds like the type of book I would wholeheartedly work with. Angela, miss my elfin diary. It had everything we may need in it, no matter what your path, and was very affordable. Lady that created it was a one-woman business. With other life events happening, it just became too much, as there was no help and no one to take on the mantle. I think there's that too. There are a lot of things. If you are a one-man band, it's very, very difficult to get things done and to get things out there. Kitchen Witch would have struggled big time if it wasn't for Ness and Heather doing all of the work that they do. And I am eternally grateful for that, because it needed more than one person. I can only be in so many places at one time. Teamwork, it's the dream work. Yeah, it's difficult. And I think it's also, is that perhaps all of the mass market witchcraft stuff that has come into being, has it pushed out the individual artists? We're trying. I do try to buy things from independent retailers. I do try to buy things, handcrafted things, and support artists. Several of my books coming up, and Sulis as well, have artists' artwork on the front that I commissioned. So I'm trying to support artists from that side as well. The Kitchen Witch website is about to undergo a bit of a revamp, and the artwork for that we commissioned from a fabulous artist as well. So it's trying to, but it's all money as well. So it is trying to do support the independents from all sides, really. Yeah, it's interesting. David, I know what you're going through. I was a full-time carer for 30 years. My craft basically was on hold for that period. Just small things. Found living and life was bigger than witchcraft. So it had to wait and not be my main focus. It happens. At first, this was frustration, but the Keach took me aside and told me my path was my own and living is that path, so I was to learn from it. And she was right. She always is. I've not explained it right. Yeah, you have. But I became a far better witch from that. I would had been. Yeah, absolutely. Life generally has to take priority. We all need to work for a living. We all need to earn money. We all need to support our families. We all need to, do the mundane stuff. It's about making witchcraft work in with it. Yeah, absolutely. Humphrey, it's amazing the different gods and goddesses who chose us. I work at the moment with the Viking god Thor and the Egyptian goddess Bast, but they seem very happy working together with me. I've always found that. I know there are some people that stick with straight pantheons, but I've always been open to whoever came my way. And sometimes there have been very interesting mixes. Yeah, that's good. Two very powerful deities there, Humphrey. Karen, Arc of the Goddess was good for Goddesses for each month. That was a course that we ran a long while back. In actual fact, the Arc of the Goddess course came about because we were looking for something to work with on a monthly basis, and we couldn't find what we wanted, so we wrote it. And that actually, the Arc of the Goddess course does still run, but it's inside of the school now for students. But we are working on new stuff. Hi there, Tina. Scrolling down these, Steve. Something I admire about many of my Muslim friends. They are and exhibit their religion all of the time, not just on the one day they attend the mosque or the time we spend in front of their altars. Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? It is about, as pagans, we respect the planet. We look after the planet and all the creatures that live on it, and that includes their fellow human beings. So let's do that. Let's get out there and be beautiful pagans all of the time. We try. I'm scrolling through all these. Scrolling, sorry. For some reason, with all the snow, I'm feeling more connected to nature, loving all the beautiful scenery. I somehow feel more witchy. Brilliant. Snow is peaceful, isn't it? It is very magical stuff to work with. Definitely. Luna, your craft changes all the time. It's as you learn, new doors open. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Steve, listen to everybody's conversation here. Do we need to discuss what it means to be a witch? That's next week, maybe, because we've only got 4 minutes left today. All right, Steve's chosen the subject for next week. Excellent. Sephora, I'm with David. Daily walk through our trees, 5 acres we're trying to fill with trees, and chair yoga is my new one. Oh, I saw chair yoga. Yeah, that looks quite interesting. I have a wrist that is toast and I miss salute to the sun. Chair yoga does seem to be a thing, isn't it? That's quite interesting. Jane, my main altar and my seasonal altar have both been fallow for several seasons now. They've become dumping grounds for my ridiculously overabundance of witchy paraphernalia. Now there's nowhere left to put anything until I have a good clear out when I get the time. It's as it's meant to be at the moment, Jane. You're different focus, different priority. It'll all come about. Humphrey, love the concept of candle magic, but they're very tricky to like when you can't see. Yeah, it's very dangerous if you can't see, I would imagine, Humphrey. So I use incense instead. It seems to work quite well. Brilliant. Excellent idea. Xenia, back in the day with American witch books, I thought I had to get these special named glass candles and figure candles and special houdours. Had the best result in normal candles or just a piece of paper with herbs in a random jar. That's part of the learning curve, though, isn't it? I thought I had to have all these things. And now, yeah, you can work magic with, a stick. So I think it's all part of the journey, isn't it? And it is still nice sometimes to do the whole shebang thing as well. Different wants, different needs, different moments in time, I guess. Monique, I agree. I think you need to find what works and connect with you. Please, can you teach my husband that to do that? I don't need it. I have no control over husbands. Emma, can't have glass tools, shatter them instantly. Learned that lesson the hard way. So if I use a tool, which is rare now, it can't be glass based. It's learning, isn't it? It's all part of the learning curve. And I think particularly with magical tools, you don't need them, but they are nice to try with, and some you may connect with, and some you might end up using forever, some periods of time. It's all a trial and error thing, but it is a learning curve, absolutely. Claire, maybe try fasting. Yeah, no, that's no food. I don't like no food. Do you not know me? No cake? What's that all about? But I think it is, you have to try what works for you. There are lots of different ways of reconnecting. It's finding a method that suits you. Jane, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Your grown-up world is different from your witchy world because witchcraft keeps us in touch with the wide-eyed, adventurous child within. Yes, it has been a bit of an eye-opener for me. I do have a real job. I've worked as a personal assistant for the last 33 years for the same chap, part-time in the last few years, and being able to work from home in the last few years, although originally it was in the office full-time. But I'd become very used to that, and it's all online and it's all doing my own thing. I know what to do, blah, 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 blah. To then be put back into a proper working scenario has been a bit of a shock to my system. And having to be, a grown up about it has been, it's been a bit of an eye opener. I'm loving it, but it has, been a bit of a real world thing. I'll find some way to bring witchcraft into it. Right. Susan, appreciate online events and talks as I'm able to attend where I otherwise wouldn't be able to due to location and cost. Yes, I think the whole online thing has opened up everything to everyone. And I think for that reason, it's wonderful. Janet, slowed down on buying so much, realising I don't need it. I think we do, don't we? We do go through that. A resin statue of Merlin holding a crystal with a thermometer as a staff. Maybe some shells stuck around the base. Oh, yeah, you'd sell loads of them. See, I'd probably buy that because it is so tacky. I'd buy it for that reason. Sephora, stones, acorns, feathers, skulls. Yeah, all good things. In actual fact, Witchcraft into the Wilds book is all about working magic without all the paraphernalia. I mean, you got to buy the book, but it is about working magic with everything that Mother Nature provides for free. It doesn't even have crystals listed in it. It is all about working magic with leaves and twigs and all that stuff. Thank you. Yes, very excited to be first-time grandparents this year. Very, very exciting. It's all a bit bizarre, but very excited. Thank you. Witchy room doubles as the dining room. Yeah, but I've done that too. Before we had the house changed around a bit, it was about working witchcraft wherever you could fit it in. Generally, the kitchen. I still do now. Thank you. Yes, mother and baby doing very well. They're absolute superstars. Yep. Angela, our house when we moved here had a wonderful energy. Now, nearly 10 years later, it's overstuffed and overwhelmed with stuff we've accumulated, especially large pieces of furniture, which we had good intentions for but never got utilised. So the energy is stagnant, heavy, unhappy, even gone in some areas. 2025 is about clearance and release for us and hope to bring back our beautiful spark and energy to our home and ourselves. We do get ourselves into that, don't we? Before we had the house renovation done a couple of years back, Air House had got like that. When we had the renovation done, we still haven't put very many pictures back up on the wall because the walls are beautifully empty. We didn't want to bang nails in them. It does you good to have a bit of a clear out every so often. Granny Weatherwax themed nursery. It's gonna have to be. Monique, never watch the news now. So much is blown up out of proportion. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not going to get through all of these comments either. There's lots here. Sometimes it helps to just feel witchy by wearing something we'd associate with our practice. Yes, having a little burn up in a fire bowl outside, a practical way of just grabbing a few minutes to be in the moment, watching the flames and richly adding the ashes to the compost next morning. It is all of those very, very simple things. Yes, absolutely. Fairy Queen, buying so much, the needing things to be a certain way so got into the way. Like if I didn't have incense, some family members' allergies felt I wasn't doing it right, which isn't true. Yeah, I think perhaps it is the internet that pushes that idea that we do have to have all this stuff. We do not. We do not. Also using my witch and shamanic practice when I'm out and about during walking, like telling my power animal to retrieve my power I may have lost in a stressful situation. I feel the power loss, they bring it back. See and feel it in slight trance when I'm walking. Don't even have to go on full shamanic journey. Helpful. It's only a few seconds or a minute. Yes. I mean, I have my wild boar is with me the whole time. And yeah, it's all good. Melanie loved the Commodore 64. We had the Ghostbuster game, which was my favourite. Yeah, flashing lights and it's mad. Oh, I think my husband's back. Right, I'm going to run out of time now for these things. We'll do this last one. Jamie, my craft has definitely been missing self-care and structure. Self-care, another important one. Busy mama bear to 2 young girls. My mini witches, so time is an issue too. Yes, when you have young children, it does go out the window. Recently, the biggest issue was my health. I was diagnosed with breast cancer last September, bless you. Care I've received has been amazing. They whipped it out in November and I'm now awaiting radiotherapy. All happened so quickly. It's only now that I've had time to think. I really feel I'm now at a major crossroads of change, and I'm really connecting with my craft in old and new directions. Treated myself to your Dragon Magic book at Christmas. I've been really drawn to dragons. Dragon work magic will really help you kick that out. Yeah, absolutely. Big positive energy to you, Jamie. So there's loads and loads of comments here, which I will read afterwards, but we're way over time. Where's my coffee?
Should I have a cup of coffee? I feel the need to put the
Just
hand
the hand.
in.
There's no coffee in
No
it.
coffee, but there is a hand.
Brilliant chat. Huge subject, much bigger than I was expecting it to be. I will have a read of the comments in a second. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been fascinating. Keep an eye out for all the events. We'll work on a daily practice thing, I promise. And I will catch you all next week. Take care, everyone.